Right then, in this video is my top 20 favourite metro systems. This is my all-time top 20 best metro systems ever, in my opinion. As well as this, let's also take a look at my least favourite metro systems. Before we come on to that, let's take a look at my favourite ones. So going from number 20 all the way up to number 1, my all-time favourite metro system. Starting at number 20, which is Karlsruhe in Germany. This is a train-tram system. While the trams run on the regular tramways, it's not really that much special to them. But then they go on to the mainline DB railway, where they have to go full speed and run alongside the DB trains. They run nice and fast at 60 miles an hour. It's really characterful having a tram going really fast down the main line. So now on to number 19, Vienna. The reason why Vienna is only in 19th place is the main part of the U-Bahn is actually not that interesting, but there's many interesting sections to it, such as the line that has the U-Bahn trains that have the same VF drive as the Croydon tram. That's a nice section. There's also the really nice epic old trams, which are very nice. There's also a tram tunnel section, but sadly this is just a really short section, so not that good. And as well as that, it's also a train-tram system, so Vienna does have a good selection of different interesting parts to its system. Now, number 18 is Bratislava. Bratislava is quite a small system, so you wouldn't expect it to be on this list, but it's just so characterful. The trams only go 30 miles an hour, but they've got a classic Eastern European DC pulsing drive, which sounds absolutely epic, and even though trams don't go that fast, they do run very efficiently. And number 17 is Warsaw, the capital of Poland. This has a typical Polish tram system, although the tram system isn't that good as it runs a bit slower than other Polish tram systems. But what makes Warsaw interesting is the metro. It's an old epic Soviet metro system with a nice selection of trains going from the old Soviet metro trains, and as well as that, there's loads of new models of trains, making it really interesting, and it's nice and fast. And number 16 is Newcastle. Newcastle Metro is a very characterful one. The trains are quite old, it looks a bit worn out. The central section where it runs through the tunnels in the middle of Newcastle is very characterful. And on another section it actually runs on the mainline tracks copying the Karlsruhe model, and that part runs nice and fast, 50 miles an hour. It's quite an interesting system. And number 15 is Basel. Now Basel is a very interesting tramway, as it's the tramway that runs across 3 countries. It goes between Germany, Switzerland and France, and the section down to France is a nice fast section where a tram can pick up lots of speed, and it's just a really fun section of tramway. As well as there's also some older trams in Basel. At 14th is Gdansk. Gdansk's transport system goes across 3 cities. It has a typical Polish tramway which runs nicely. As well as that, it's also a really interesting old suburban railway. It runs between the 3 cities, which is just so old and epic and characterful. And Gdansk is just a really nice place. And number 13 is Berlin. Now a lot of the U-Bahn systems in Germany do feel a little bit all too clean and perfect and a little bit faceless, but that's not the case for Berlin, which has some absolutely epic old U-Bahn trains, which is so nice and interesting, and it's got lots of character and it's the most interesting U-Bahn system in Germany. At number 12 is Rome. Now the regular main 2 metro lines in Rome are nothing that special, but there's loads of other parts of the system which are very interesting, such as Metro Line 3, which is a fully automatic metro metro line, with no driver, as platform doors, and this really modern epic. As well as that is also 1940s trams still in service, which is really nice. Then there's also down the Southwell Road, the narrow gauge railway, which is so antiquated and so epic. It's one of my favourite railways in the world, and even better than that is the grotty, creepy suburban line up the Northwell Road. This line is so run down, it's absolutely fascinating. Is the Glasgow Clockwork Orange. This is a very small metro system, but it's so weird and interesting. It has tiny little underground trains. It's like I've taken a London Underground train and shrunk it and made it even smaller. It is so weird. It's like having toy trains, and they're nice old metro camel trains with nice sounding motors, and it's so weird but so fascinating. And at number 10 is Cologne. Cologne has the same trams as the Croydon trams. It's like you've taken the Croydon tram and put it on an epic big underground railway. And it is so nice to have a Croydon tram running through an epic metro system. Number 9 is Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a very, very modern metro system. It has metro trains made by Ansaldo Breda with the epic Breda VF drive. It's a fully automated system, no driver, and it's got platform doors, looks absolutely modern, and it runs very efficiently and has a top speed of 50 miles an hour. But what makes it exceptionally interesting is it's a 24-hour system. The metro never stops. It is constantly running 24 hours a day, every single day of the year. It is a technical achievement. How I've done this is so clever. At night time they do maintenance, and as there's trains every 10 minutes, what they do is they shut off one of the two lines and either run the trains on a single track configuration on the single track line where they've shut off one of the lines, or they run a shuttle train on that section, meaning they can keep the whole system running 24 hours even during maintenance. Number 8 is Porto. Porto is a very interesting system as it looks like a regular metro, but they run trams on it, so you get nice, fast, speedy trams whizzing through a metro system, and a tram being a lightweight vehicle when it's running at speed through a metro system. It just is so characterful, it just feels really amazing, and they run really fast. They actually go 60 miles an hour on the out of town sections. And number 7 is Lille. Lille is absolutely amazing. It is the biggest of the VAL systems, and VAL is a French designed automated metro, and it's very scalable. It can go from a very small transit train in an airport to a massive long full metro system like it is in Lille. And these trains are very efficient. They've got very fast acceleration. The top speed's only about 36 miles an hour. But while they don't manage in speed, they make up in efficiency. It's the most efficient automated metro there is, and it has old style Siemens automation. And unlike modern Siemens automation, which has got economy driving and other features, an old style Siemens automation, if the speed's set to 36 miles an hour, the train will run at exactly 36 miles an hour, with the power being adjusted to keep it exactly at speed, which is so satisfying. Brussels. The Brussels metro and tramways are really characterful. Even though it's in Belgium, which is a very clean country, the metro system in Brussels is quite grotty. It's got old trains which are really epic, they've got fast acceleration, they're really clunky, and the trams are very interesting, and there's a tram tunnel section, and trams running through metro tunnels are always fun, and Brussels is an all-round nice city for transport. At number 5 is Budapest. Budapest is some of the most epic, amazing trains there is. It's got the metro system, which is an old Soviet metro system. Sadly though, the last of the old Soviet trains have now sadly been replaced, which has ruined it quite a bit. But the metro system is still very interesting. Then it's got a great selection of loads of different types of tram. Budapest buys in second-hand trams from various places all over the world, meaning it's a really epic selection to see when you go there. But the best part of Budapest is the suburban lines. These are small little trains that run on really clunky lines running out the city centre. And these lines, some of them don't even go fully into the city. It's like I just go from the out of town places just to the outskirts of the city, and then the line stops and you have to change to a tram or a metro to get into the centre. And they're so rattly and just so epic. And at number 4 is Kiev in Ukraine. Kiev is like nothing else. It's got a full, epic Russian Soviet metro system. It is so old-fashioned. It's one of the most old but epic metro systems there is. As well as that, it's got a very, very knackered tram system, and the tram system's like, you have to see it to know what it's like. It is really, really weird. And as well as that, it's got this epic, creepy suburban trains, the creepiest trains I've ever come across. Number 3 is the MTR in Hong Kong. The MTR is very efficient. It's one of the most efficient metro systems, but it's not efficient and faceless. It's efficient, but full of character. Every single line has its own character to it. There's so many interesting parts. One of the best parts is the Disneyland Resort line, a little tiny line going just 1.5 miles. They themed it with Disney-style windows, and now effort they put into theming this is quite amazing. Then there's so many other lines. You've got the express lines. The express line up to Shenzhen runs trains that sound like it's a 455 from England, even though it isn't. And then you've got the light rail over west of the city. Then down south on the island, you've got really old trams. Then you've got the South Island line, which is a fully automatic line with no driver. It's just so interesting and so many different trains to see there. And at number 2 is Paris. Paris is an absolutely massive system. It's so full of character. You just have to go to Paris to see it. There's so many interesting different trains there. So let's just go through the best ones. There's all of the rubber wheel trains. The best being the 1959 train, which has really fast acceleration. When the train speeds up, it knocks you off your feet. It speeds up so quick. And the trains go really fast round the bends because of the rubber wheel design. They zoom round the bends. You have to hold them tight, otherwise you fall over. It's so epic. Then you've got line 6, which is a line that goes, which is like an overhead viaduct line that goes round the south of the city with nice views and epic trains. Then you've got line 14, which is fully automatic, and the trains sound absolutely epic on that line. And now line 1 is also automatic and is also very epic. And as well as the metro, there is also the RER suburban trains. And these have got some really creepy and epic sounding double-deck trains, which are awesome. parts. There's literally so many parts to the Paris Metro which are interesting. You've got the express trams, and you've also got the bus trams, which is just a rubber-wheeled vehicle with a single guide rail in the middle. It is so weird, and it's got extremely fast acceleration, and it's just so weird but so amazing to go on. And at number 1, what is the number 1 best metro system from all the places I've travelled? Well, despite how much I've travelled and I've seen some amazing places, still so far nothing can beat London, because London is in a class of its own. What makes London so interesting is just the design of it. The trains are tunnel shaped, and the thing with London is there's just so much to see. You've got all of the underground, you've got Dons like Railway, you've got so much transport, and I think London just about tops it, even though things like Paris Metro and the MTR come really close to pretty much as good as London. For me, I think London only slightly just about tops it, because there's just so much to it. There's so many interesting parts, like Victoria Line accelerates fast, great VF drive, trains every 90 seconds in the rush hour. There's just amazing bits to it, and you would have thought with the amount I've travelled I would have found something better than the Underground, and to be honest, I am actually quite bored of the Underground, but that's only because I've lived with it all my life, and that's why I travel to go and see other metro systems. But if I factor out the fact I'm seeing the Underground too much and a bit bored of it, and look at it with fresh eyes, I think only tiniest little bit, I think London Underground just tops it as the best metro system. So that is my top 20 best metro systems. And now let's just go through quickly when I've travelled somewhere, like travelled a long way to go somewhere, and the metro system's just disappointing. So these are my least favourite metro systems, which are the Edinburgh tram, which was extremely disappointing and nothing special. Then there's the Dublin trams, and when you go somewhere and the trams are sit at this, it's like, ugh, they brought in an off-the-shelf tram rather than designing their own. That's just boring. Dublin wasn't that good. Then there's the Madrid metro, and the Madrid metro system looks as big as Paris, but a lot of it is just the same. It's just repetitive, although there's a few interesting bits to it. Madrid's just a bit boring. And my least favourite, I think, metro system has to be the Sheffield tram. I don't know why, but I've never really warmed to the Sheffield tram. And then they overhyped their extension. The new tram train extension was talked about for years and years and years, and when it finally opened, it was like a tiny little extension. It was like the biggest letdown there could be. So, that's now the end of the video. Leave a comment in the comment section below of what you think are the best and worst metro systems in the world.
Untitled Chapter.